Hello, everyone. It's John, your Cine-MANIAC, with another 10ish-Minute movie review. Um, Before I get to the movie, I just wanted to comment on the conversation around the poles versus the wheel. People are, I don't know if they're enjoying it. Some people are enjoying it. Some people are hating it. But it looks like either way, you guys are responding. So on the next episode of the Big Show, we're going to have the choices that you guys are ranking that we picked, and then we're going to have a wheel with movies that you guys have picked. And I have to say the choices are pretty eclectic, so that's good. I think we're going to hit everything. At least I hope so. So whatever you think about it, it seems to be working. So we really appreciate the engagement. And as always, I appreciate you guys subscribing, hitting the notification button, and as always, smash that like button because it really does make a difference and it makes me happy. So that alone should get you to hit the like button. Anyway, okay, now let's get to a more serious, more creepy vibe. So the poll winner for the horror film was Pari from 2018. Subtitle, Not a Fairy Tale. And I can honestly say this was not a fairy tale. This was a creepy, creepy, atmospheric movie that I thoroughly enjoyed. Okay, so I'm gonna get right a little background. Directed and co-written by Prosit Roy, starring Anushka, Rukhsana, who was in PK, who to me was almost unrecognizable compared to the way she looked in PK. She was adorable in PK. She had her moments when she looked attractive in this one, but what a brave performance. Um, and she also produced it. So kudos to her. Uh, Parambra Chattopadhyay. Rajit Kapoor, who I recognize from both Drishyams, and Ritabhari Chakraborty. Chakraborty. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I hope so. So this movie starts off rather interestingly with a family driving down the road and they hit a woman and kill her. And from there, it spirals into crazy territory. And there's going to be spoilers here. So if you haven't seen the movie, don't watch this. There will be spoilers. So this all has to do with a demon or a devil. Maybe it's a devil called Ifrit. And the Ifrit wants to have a demon child. And through the course of the movie, you find out who the mother of that demon child is going to be. And it is Rukhsana, played by Anushka Rukhsana. So, first of all, let me just say this. The look of the film, very dark, almost like a blue tint to it, especially when they got in the forest. And it was disturbing looking in a good way, though. Now, I will say, when they went to the forest, I found it way too dark, like dark where you couldn't see anything. And I wasn't a big fan of that. I thought they could have lightened it up a little, but I did like the color palette that the cinematographer picked because it really added to the creepiness and tenseness of the entire movie. And that's what it felt like too. And you know, the movie that it's not the same type of movie, but the feeling I had watching it was like The Sixth Sense. You were always uptight in The Sixth Sense because you had no idea what was going on till the very end. This movie kind of made me feel that way because I'm trying to figure out what's going on, who's the good guy, who's the bad guy, and I just couldn't figure it out. Like I thought the professor was just a villain, killing women, killing children, and then you find out he's kind of the hero. And even that at the end, well, I'll get to that. I don't want to get into that. Now, there were no dance numbers in this, not surprisingly, although there was a song at the beginning that was playing, and then all of a sudden it's playing on the radio of the car that the family's driving. I thought that was kind of cool. Now, there was a lot of in that scene where the woman hit the car, that was a jump scene, and it was very effective. Now, the jump scenes. Here's one criticism I have of this movie. They they force fed you the jump scenes over and over and over, where it was like they would something would jump out at you, and there'd be either thunder or pounding music when it happened. And I think what happens, it loses its ability to get you to jump when they keep doing it over and over again. And I don't think they needed to do that. I mean, obviously the director made a choice that he was going to do that, but I think it lost its impact the more they did it. Now, there were times when it absolutely worked, no doubt about it, but it just got a little too repetitive for me. Um, some of the scenes that stood out for me, the morgue scene, the first morgue scene where the one guy reaches in, pulls out a tooth, then sticks the tooth in his mouth to clean it. Yeah, that totally grossed me out. I guess in a good way, you know. Um, there was I'm jumping all over the place, but let me just talk about the lead actress, because I mean, this was a pretty for someone who does glamorous roles, and I don't know her film career just from PK and a couple others, but the fact that she looked so haggard, and the bloody fingernails and toenails, and clipping them, um, I mean, she just looked like a wreck in most of the movie. So for an actress to let herself portray that way, I thought was brave. And it really added to the juxtaposition between who she who she really was and what she ended up being. Which I also think helped with the ending. Now I have some issues. I'll get to those in a minute. But overall, I really like this movie. And the male lead, who I've never seen before, at least I don't think I've seen him. I thought he was good too. You know, he was so conflicted about what he was doing, and he didn't know what to do. And at one point, he betrays the woman that he loves, and she loves him. Um, there was a few things I like when they went to the guy's bedroom and he's got the Masters of the Universe toys. I don't know why that made me laugh, because I didn't have those when I was a kid, but I had action figures when I was a kid, so that kind of made me laugh. Um, I thought the most disturbing scenes in the film were the nail clipping, when you could hear that snap. And then at one point, she's walking around the apartment and she's hearing the snap. And that's when she goes and sees her demon self. That sound just, oh my God. And then the climbing on the balconies that she was doing, like some kind of feral animal, um, was again, I mean, that's the only word I can use, is creepy. And the other scene, and in Indian films, they don't show sex, right? They almost never, at least the ones I've seen. But that scene where the demon was under the blanket having sex with the woman that was chained to the table, and you see the blanket going up and down and moving forward. Oh man, that was like I don't know, man. It was just ugh. It was a great scene, and it was nuts. The music was fantastic. It really added to the whole um, vibe of that movie. Um, It just did. I mean, I loved it. I loved the music. It was effective. I use that word too much, I know. But it really did enhance the creepiness of everything, the cinematography, the look of the demons and the worshipers, whoever they were. It was pretty intense violence wise too. And I got to tell you something. And it's really strange, but it's funny when you watch movies like this and people get killed, you have a reaction to it, right? But when animals get killed, there's a much deeper visceral reaction to it. And I don't understand it, but I will tell you that when that dog got killed, that was that was really tough. And then they didn't show it, but she turns around and she's got the feathers in her mouth with the blood, so she ate the bird. It was it showed that side of her that she's been trying to hide. Um, but yeah, that really, oof, it's tough. It's tough for me to watch that kind of stuff. Um, so the ending where he impregnates her, and obviously it's a demon baby, so it's a 1 day pregnancy basically, and it ends up she goes to kill Roxana goes to kill his fiance or ex-fiance and starts throwing her all over the place. Like, I mean, really wailing on her. And then she goes into labor. And the fiance, instead of killing her or attempting to killing her, delivers the baby. Now, the whole point of the movie is she gets pregnant, she's going to have a demon baby. Well, it ends up that the baby's normal. It has an umbilical cord, which means it's not a demon baby. So the point of the movie was that love, her love for him and his for her, created this pure baby. So the bloodline, which they chant throughout the movie, is done. And the last scene of the movie, well, there's close to the end. He finds her in the woods after she's given the baby. She's left the baby. She leaves to go back to the forest to die. Because once a month, which they played off like she was having woman problems once a month. Yeah, it was woman problems, all right. She had to drink blood or she would be poisoned. She would die from her own poison. So at the last scene, they're hugging each other. And he apologizes for turning on her. And you could see that he really did love her. And she kind of looked up and you could tell she had that fever. And she swallowed, she swallowed the poison and died. And I thought it was it was a beautifully played scene. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I watched this at night in the dark, and it was I wasn't sure which way it was going to go, and it took a lot of different turns, which I enjoyed. And the guy who played the professor, at first you hate the guy, then you realize maybe he's not as bad as you think. But I will say that when she gets betrayed and they chain her up and they are torturing her. Now, this is after she's killed people and animals, and you actually felt sympathy for her. It was awful. And then, sure enough, the other the boyfriend comes back. Everybody's dead. So you felt bad for her, and she murdered everybody. So it was, you weren't sure which side you were supposed to be on. But kudos to the filmmaker, kudos to the cast, especially her. She was wonderful in this movie, and big thumbs up. The other one was Stree, was recommended as a horror film, but it was or a comedy film. Actually, it was supposed to be a comedy film, but it wasn't. I didn't think it was as scary as this. This was a scary. Scary is not the right word. It was a tense movie, tense the whole time. So I really appreciate that one. So thank you so much. Okay, so that's about my 10 minutes. I think I kept to 10 minutes too, which I usually don't do. So that's my review. Now the next film I'm going to do, not a poll. It isn't a wheel. It's one that wasn't available without subtitles that has just become available. So I'm going to watch 2016's Pink, starring the man Amitabh Bachchan. So that's going to be the next 10ish-minute review. So if you enjoyed this review and I've earned your subscription, please hit the subscription button, hit the notification button, and as always, what do we do? What do we do? We smash that like button. Okay. Hey, thanks a lot, everyone, for watching. And again, I so appreciate the engagement, whether it's a wheel or whether it's a poll or whether it's this 10-ish minute thing. I appreciate it so much. So thanks for watching, and we will see you soon.